What's going on, guys? My name is Patrick Wilson. I'm joined by my co-host, Sam Wismer, and eventually, maybe, John Papp, depending on how his meeting goes. And this is the Pucking Flyers podcast.
You can say a whole bunch of things. At the end of the day, you have to show it.
You want to get the fans going in your own building? Hit Crosby, and then he has a set of hands that are incredible. Back through the legs, off the skate. Domi doesn't pick it up. Too much ice to cover for everybody. A save by Hart. Wow. He got right to left.
Incredible goal by Giroux. Watch this. Puck protection and elevates that shot. Giroux walks through.
Oh my goodness. This is something special right here.
Be a Flyer.
Well, we don't need to update that intro video anymore.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the final episode of the Pucking Flyers podcast, guys. It's been a great run, but we are going to give you one last hell of an episode. We are going to have some fun with it. We're going to start off with some Phantoms updates, and then eventually we'll move into the Flyers updates. And hopefully John can come in to give his final goodbye as well. But let's start it off with some Phantom update and let's get this energy going. What do you got for us, Sam?
Well, they made like 5 new signings over the past 2-ish weeks. The first one is Luca Bertson. So a lot of these signings that they make, just let me preface this, that they probably are going to be with the Royals, unless they do really well and Lappy decides that, they're AHL ready. But Luca is 22. He's from British Columbia, left shot. He played his rookie season in the Colorado Avalanche system, and he split time between the AHL team, the Colorado Eagles, and the ECHL team, Utah Grizzlies. He scored 13 goals with 18 assists and added a pair of goals in 11 postseason games in the Kelly Cup playoffs, which is the ECHL's version of the Stanley Cup. AHL has Calder Cup, ECHL has Kelly Cup, NHL obviously has Stanley Cup. He was a round 6 selection of the Avalanche in the 2019 entry draft. He's played 270 career WHL games, and he scored 104 goals with 103 assists for 207 points.
All right.
I think he could definitely add some depth to the team, and that's ultimately what we need because we didn't have that last season. The next signing is a forward named Trey Bradley, and he is son of NHL All-Star Brian Bradley. I don't know if that rings a bell at all.
No, it
doesn't. So Trey is 26. He's a left-handed shooter from Tampa. He played in 10 games with the Colorado Eagles, and he recorded 4 assists while suiting up for 38 games with the Utah Grizzlies. And he scored 18 goals with 28 assists. And he served as captain of the Grizzlies last season. Obviously, I just said he is son of Brian Bradley, who played 651 NHL games with Calgary, Vancouver, Toronto, and Tampa Bay. He registered 503 points in his NHL career, 182 goals with 321 assists. And Trey comes from Colorado College. He played 151 games in the ECHL over the last 3 years, scoring 42 goals with 85 assists. So he was named the NCHC Honorable Mention All-Star Team and was nominated for the Hobey Baker Award when he scored a career high of 46 points. So, I think their main goal was to add depth to both Reading and Lehigh. And then we had a re-signing of Garrett McFadden. He was a defenseman, or is a defenseman. He signed with the Phantoms and then he got sent to the Royals. And he played in 4 games with the Phantoms, as well as 28 games with Reading, and he scored 3 goals with 10 assists for 13 points. And he made his Phantoms debut in March against the Laval Rocket, and then and later did his PPL Center debut, and it was in a game against the Hershey Bears. And he served as the 7th defenseman for the last few weeks of the season as well. Lappy said he's nothing. Lappy said nothing flashy. He didn't go out there and get impressed by what was going on. He played his game. He's got some physicality to his game, and he moves the puck well. He's not afraid to jump up, and that's a guy I'm looking forward to seeing in camp and also seeing a little bit more out of him. The games he played well for us, and I can agree with that. He is a good player. And someone who was with the baby Penguins has now joined the other side of the rivalry. His name is Jordy Bellerive.
I remember you sending this to us.
Jordy, I've seen him lay guys out. So we definitely need that grit on the Phantoms. 23, he comes from Vancouver, and he had 21 assists and 8 goals last season with the Penguins, and he was alternate captain last season. And Lappy said, I remember he was a 3rd and 4th liner for the Wilkes-Barre, and he was noticeable. And when you're a coach, you have so much stuff to worry about with your own team. Those guys on the other team need to do something special for me to really notice them, and he did. Every time we played against them, he was in our players' faces. I'm just happy he's on our side, and he's going to help us go where we want to go. Jordy played 3 seasons with the Penguins, and he scored 30 goals with 39 assists for 69 points in 157 games. I'm excited to see this one. I like enforcers, and Jordy's definitely an enforcer.
It definitely seems like the Flyers and the Phantoms both are stacking up on enforcers. Like, they definitely seem to want the big man on their team now.
For sure. And then I think I mentioned last episode that Charlie Gerard and Alex Kyle were also re-signed. So yeah, definitely excited for this season. And the rookie games are coming to town in 11 days now. I'm counting down or anything. They are going to be playing against the New York Rangers rookies. It's always a good game. I enjoy the rookie games. I enjoy watching them, always have. It's not only part of training camp for them, but it's also a chance for Lappy to see what the rookies can do, who needs to work on what throughout training camp. So it's a good time. And they will be at the PPL Center on September 16th and 17th. The 16th starts at 7 p.m. and the 17th starts at 5 p.m.
All right. If I can make the trek up there, I would, but
tickets are $10. I can get them for you.
Hour and a half drive there, hour and a half drive back. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I feel that. I dread it every time I go down to the Flyers games.
Yeah, luckily for me, it's like 20 minutes to a Flyers game.
Yeah, don't brag. You have it easy.
Oh, I'm not bragging. 20 minutes to try and watch this team.
Hey,
I still think it's 19 minutes too long at this point.
You never know. They could surprise us and win 82 games straight.
Yeah, no. I'll be happy. I'm aiming for 30 wins this season. But they seem to have a good team on paper. And it seems like Lehigh Valley just added depth to their team, which makes them look pretty good on paper too.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the trouble that came with Lehigh last season was more or less the call-ups, the injuries, we lost Zade Wisdom right out of the gate. Lost him in training camp. I don't even think it was training camp yet. I think it was before training camp. We lost Zade Wisdom. And then we lost Wade Allison at the rookie game for part of the season. And then we lost Tyson Forrester literally I think right before Wade came back, we lost Tyson Forrester to an injury. So we lost a lot of our big guys, our big name guys that we could have used. I also think part of it had to do with Lappy being a first-year head coach. That entire coaching team, that was basically our first AHL coaching gig. And his assistant coaches are Riley Armstrong and Jason Smith. Jason Smith was Flyers captain for a season. So I think it was a learning year and it was a transition year. I think this year is going to go much better. Lappy learned from his mistakes and what he needs to do. And you definitely saw him transition into being head coach material.
Yeah, this is going to be another test year for Lappy. I mean, last year he was definitely given horrible circumstances. And in my opinion, I don't think he did bad.
And I've said this
for what he was given anyway.
Yeah, and I've said this time and time again on Twitter. Not only defending him, I'll be the first one to call him out because I'm there. But he didn't do bad. But he learned from his mistakes, and everything he was throwing, a depleted roster, the injuries, the call-ups. I think I said last pod, he said, in his 8 years of being a head coach, he never saw that many call-ups happen. Because when a player gets called up to the NHL, that player is sent to the assistant coaches first. And Lappy said in his 8 years of being assistant coach, he never saw that many call-ups. There were 13 call-ups last season. It's kind of when he said that, my jaw just was I don't think any other team had to face that many call-ups. And then you had a depleted roster because of COVID. And then we also had COVID cancellations. So I think it was just a multitude of things. But he didn't do bad. And I think the way he handled it with grace.
He always seemed to have rebounded one way or another. When his team had a bad game or bad 2 games, he always seemed to rebound it somehow.
If that was me, I would have been freaking out, but that's the way I am. So
yeah, but I give him credit. He had a very, very tough first year as head coach.
And everybody wants to bag on him, and it's first of all, I will always go to, are you watching the games? If you're not watching the games,
can't really say anything.
Because while the team didn't play the greatest, while the team didn't play the greatest, the players individually played pretty well. If that makes any sense. I just don't think just being
they didn't gel as a team. They didn't gel as a team. They did well with their own individual skills, but when it came to being a team and using team skills against the other teams, it just never worked.
And, we went through a multitude of goalies last season as well, especially if Sandstrom was either called up or he was out sick. We went through, or a goalie was, at the Olympics. No matter what.
Not bragging or anything.
I'll never forget that press conference. Lappy's yeah, I got a goalie at the Olympics. I'm calm down there, buddy. But yeah, we had John Gillies, who went to St. Louis. We had Garrett Metcalf, who was with Utah Grizzlies. Pat Nagel, obviously, Sandstrom. We had Sam Ersson. I'm hoping Sam Ersson's going to be ready to come back because little sample size that I saw of him last season, he is going to be a really good goalie.
Okay.
And I'm excited to see him come back. I just hope he's healthy enough to come back. That's the problem. He had a lower body injury. Never found out what it was. And
I still feel like that's with most people in the Flyers right now is, are they healthy enough to come back?
Yeah, I mean, Sam Ersson was definitely hurting towards the end of the season. I would see him walking around and he was just like, it looked like, best way I can put it is that my back, I'm having really bad back issues right now. My back feels congested and like just tight. And that's how he looked. It's just that everything was super tight. If that makes any sense.
I'm trying to keep it clean.
Shut up, Kat. But just like everything, just like the way he was walking, it just like looked really uncomfortable. So, but if he comes back, I'm excited to see that. But if not, we always have Patty Nags and Sandy to hold us down. I'm excited for Pat to come back.
Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate it. Yeah, I wish more time was on my hands for this, but I definitely will be out here again, whether it's just like a little one episode with someone or just like a quick little podcast to give my 2 cents on something. But doing it on a week-to-week basis is starting to become a little too much. So that's my only thing about it. Other than that, I enjoy talking about the Flyers. So this has been an excellent 9 months. And I also get to meet wonderful people like Sam and you, Jesse, also Jamie, Chris, Eric, Andrew. I got to meet so many great people. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, you should have my number, so hit me up on or shoot me a text whenever you need a man, and I'll see what I can do. But Phantoms,
Yes.
they're starting to look stronger, and well, yeah. As long as people stay healthy, that's the main issue right now with the Flyers and the Phantoms. As long as people stay healthy, they're looking stronger. They're adding depth. Lappy's going to be on his second year. He's learned a lot from his first year. Hopefully he won't have 13 call-ups again. That will absolutely screw him over.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. Like, it just definitely seemed like last year nothing went right for either organization. And 60% of it was due to the injury bug.
It definitely was, but
so I mean, we'll definitely see what happens in the future with the Phantoms.
Yeah, you can always tune into my new podcast on Old City Sports Network.
Oh, give that a quick shout out real quick.
Yeah, we just started it. It's called American Beauties. We just had our first episode this past Thursday. The host of the show is Dan Bradley, wonderful host, and I'm obviously on it, and my other co-host Rob Caplet is on it. Just starting it up and excited to see where it goes.
All right, is that just hockey in general, or is that mostly?
It's the entire AHL coverage.
AHL, okay.
So Rob covers the Western portion of it because there's 10 teams. I've got the Eastern Division. Dan has the Central Division, and Dan and I are going to do the North Division together.
Okay, that seems like a lot of work. That's a lot of teams.
You can't forget about the Canadian teams.
They're only from Canada, eh? Just kidding. I love Canada. You guys have great lakes to fish at.
And Tim Hortons.
Ooh, can't forget about Timmy Horton. I can go for some of that right now.
So glad I get to have that next Friday night. Look, Tim Hortons is in the PPL Center. I'm so excited.
You get that back all season long.
I'm just more excited to get back into my seats.
Right behind the net so you can troll the goalie from the other team for one period.
Listen, do you know who I get to troll for 4 games this season if he doesn't make the Florida Panthers lineup? Now that he's not going to be on the Phantoms, if he gets scored against, do you know how bad that's going to be? We already troll the opposing goalie when they get scored against. It's not going to be a welcome home.
Well, no. You always got to make the other team feel bad about themselves, no matter how much no matter how great they were on your team. When Claude Giroux finally comes back with the Senators, we'll boo him every time he touches the puck, but we'll give him a nice standing ovation right in the beginning.
Isn't that the home opener?
Is
or
it?
Shortly after? I don't know. I don't have the NHL app downloaded yet.
I have not checked. Let me check real quick. Whoops. If I could hit the right button, that'd be great. Hold on.
I tend to delete the NHL app at the end of the season. And as soon as the last game was over, I deleted it real quick.
So that's a preseason. Home opener is against the Devils. First time they play Ottawa is November 5th, which is a Saturday.
I was way off.
Yeah, because it's Devils and Vancouver at home, then the entire next week. Probably going to go 0-3 that week. They're playing against Tampa Bay, Florida Panthers, and Nashville.
Oh, I'm going to miss our predictions.
So that's going to be an interesting one. Oh, shoot. Hit the wrong button again. That's going to be an interesting one.
For sure.
All right, here we go. Okay, I'm back situated. We're good. All right. I still have no idea where John's at. I have not received a single message from him. His meeting's going way longer than it should, which I'm sure he's real thrilled about. Because I think he's been in it for a solid hour and a half now. So he's probably a little cranky.
Probably me when I get hangry. Or John made me angry.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it was just John in general with his sound alerts.
Yeah.
Emotional damage.
It wasn't ever him. It was the sound alerts. Okay.
Because he's great at trolling. He's fantastic at trolling.
You like my jersey behind me? I can't. Yeah, right there. Tanner Lazinski's college jersey.
Oh, okay. I was going to say I cannot see the number or the name at all.
Yeah, it's his Ohio State jersey. Custom made by Luberu.
Okay. Like an actual one or?
No, it's custom made, so it's a replica. But
damn.
I'm going to literally hand him a Sharpie and the jersey at training camp and be like, Tanner, sign this. I'll leave you alone.
Like,
don't get injured this season.
I'll be like, okay, there you go.
No, I'm surprised. He's one of the guys that isn't back yet. Him and Ratcliffe and Provy. Tanner's one of the guys that isn't back yet. Most of the guys are back.
Yeah, a little shout out to Jamie here. He's been doing, I think it's been like daily or every other day. He's been giving updates about who's back and who's not.
I would bet. I said to someone on Twitter this morning, Tanner is about to be a dad very, very soon. So I think that part of it has to do with that and just like trying to like secure everything here for the baby. But yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Ratcliffe probably just doesn't want to leave Canada yet.
Don't blame him.
I don't like
It's nice and cool up there.
Listen, if Torts was my head coach, I would have already been back here in July. I am scared of that man. Just looking at him and just hearing what he's had to say, I'm scared of him. He literally
it's a good
said
thing you're not on the Flyers.
He literally said this is going to be a grueling training camp.
Oh yeah, he needs to see who's willing to put in the effort for everything.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. When's that? September 15th is when that starts, right?
15th, yeah, because then the rookies got to come up here for the 16th and the 17th.
Okay.
And then they'll go back down because then the on ice portion has to happen.
Okay. So 15th, 16th, and 17th is going to be off ice, other than for the rookies. And then the rest of it later on is going to be on ice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do they do off ice? Is that just workouts and lineups and stuff like that?
Workouts, whatever else they do off ice. I'm not sure what all of that entails. I don't know if Jesse's still watching, if he knows what it entails. But yeah, let's just hope and pray for a better season.
I mean, we'll get what we get. Oh shoot, is that my? I think my Wi-Fi is cutting in and out a little bit.
You're fine for right now.
Okay. But I guess next order of business would be the 3 new signings, which
Do you want to go over the VP that was hired?
You want to do that first?
If you want to, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, we can do VP first.
Okay, just because like I have this up on my phone.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. I just went to the signings first because I didn't see anything about the VP beforehand.
Yeah. So the Flyers announced on August 24th that they hired Ian McCowan. We're gonna go with that.
Fair enough.
It's a newly created position. It's called Vice President, Athlete Performance and Wellness. It was a global search process, apparently. Just like the global search process happened for Torts. He will establish and oversee a comprehensive and coordinated health and wellness program for all players within the Flyers organization while working closely with the team of doctors and specialists at Penn Medicine. In hiring Ian, the Flyers join other leading sports organizations implementing modern health and wellness programs that ensure athletes receive comprehensive collaborative care from doctors, trainers, sports psychologists, nutritionists, strength coaches, rehab, and physical therapy specialists who can contribute to health and overall wellness. That is something we have definitely been missing.
Yeah, we'll see if he can change that around. But I don't know. I feel like we need players who are originally healthy to begin with as well.
Yeah. Ian did say, my career has taken me all over the world. My goal is to work with good people, doing great work. There are great people around here. And as soon as I started to speak with people from the organization, I fell in love with it. I'm here to make a difference. For me, it's about being really strategic and smart about creating the right environment where people just can't help but get better, being connected and being a part of something special. But we also work in a performance sport, and we're expecting you to work hard and to have incredibly high standards. So
to get this team back on track to where it was mediocre beforehand, where they were in the playoffs, out of the playoffs, in the playoffs, out of the playoffs.
And just
We
not
need everybody.
And not rushing people back from injury. Like we saw what happened with Hayes. Hayes came back instantly out the next game.
Ellis came back. I think he was out after the first period.
I mean, I saw it with Sam, example going back to the Phantoms, Sam Ersson. He would come back and then second period, Sandy would have to step in because he just was trying to be rushed back. And I think after like the second or third time, Lappy was like, that's it. This kid is done. I'm grounding him for the season, basically.
Yeah, I think the only person they really did right when it came to the injuries is Coos. When he got injured, I'm pretty sure right off the bat they were like, all right, you're done for the season, because they knew how severe it was.
Apparently Farabee's back playing, or at least practicing. And that's a really good sign.
Didn't he just have surgery like a month and a half ago?
Neck surgery.
I'm assuming it's just like little shots and skating just to try and keep
Probably,
warm.
but I mean, it's still a good sign that he's at least working out with the team.
Yeah. Hopefully in training camp he always has the non-contact on, so he still has that time to recover.
Yes.
But it's the Flyers. Even though they got a new VP, it's the Flyers.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, he seems to be skating good. Put the contact on him, hit him as hard as you can.
Let's see him out for another 6 months.
Yeah. We're great at that one. But okay, so we definitely needed that that coach or that vice president, someone to help keep the players healthy.
Yeah.
It sounds like John's on his way back to his room as well, so he should be on within the next 5 minutes.
Okay. But yeah, no, I think just mainly keeping the players healthy and just, I think, from the sounds of it, that this guy should at least help in that sense. We can only hope.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's already down 5 people, so you can't really blame him if people still get injured this year.
Yeah.
As long as we see a much more or a better improvement from last year, where we don't see nearly as many. But I mean, it's hockey. Things happen. People are going to get injured. But we don't need like 13, 15 people injured.
Well, I went to a family gathering today, and my one relative was like, "Oh yeah, how do you feel about the Flyers' new head coach?" I was like, "He's needed. He's needed."
Yeah, and we'll see what happens with him too. Like, he's definitely an older guy trying to bring old school hockey back into the Flyers, which who knows how that'll work in today's day and age hockey.
Yeah,
I mean, it can, but.
And, some of these guys that have AHL contracts, Hayden Hodgson is a perfect example. You can have an AHL contract and then be signed to an NHL contract. And I think that some of these guys could definitely, it can definitely happen. Garrett Wilson from last season. Anyway, he almost got an NHL contract, but was a very late cut from training camp. I think he was cut after like the first preseason game. That's a late cut.
Maybe because they realized that he's needed in the Phantoms?
Yeah. He's needed.
Is there still no word on him?
There's no word.
Jesus. All right, so we'll go to the signings then, because we have 3 new signings with the Flyers. We'll start with Wade Allison first, because he's the big name that everybody knows for the most part.
And everybody
has been waiting for. Yeah.
All right. So Wade Allison, obviously, we all know that he hasn't, been able to get off on the best foot. He's had injuries. So from what I understand, he's healthy. He's healthy now, and ready to rock and roll. I like the energy that Wade brings. And he is super personable with fans. He loves to interact with them, which is, I always look for that in a player. And even more so at the AHL level, you get to interact with these guys a lot more than you do at the NHL level, obviously. But, someone who can be personable and interactive with fans is always really nice. He played 1 game with the Flyers and spent a majority of the season, obviously, in Lehigh. And he recorded 10 goals and 7 assists in 28 games with the Phantoms. And just a little bit of a background on him. He signed an ELC, which is an entry-level contract, on March 27th, 2020, and appeared in 10 games for the Phantoms the following season in 2021, where he posted 9 points in 10 games before being recalled to the Flyers. And he made his NHL debut on April 15th, 2021 at Pittsburgh and appeared in 14 games for the Flyers and recorded 7 points, 4 goals, 3 assists for the remainder of the season. And he comes from Western Michigan University.
All right, yeah. When I first saw that contract, I thought they signed him for $1.5 million average. So when I first saw that, I was like, this is the worst contract I've seen the Flyers make, and I've seen them make one with JVR. Like I thought that would have been a horrible contract.
I cannot wait to offload that contract.
One more year.
It's also important to note Allison Wade comes from Manitoba, so he's way up there in Canada. And he's already back.
That's great to hear.
And then the next signing was Linus Hogberg, and Mr. Man just had a birthday yesterday, which I just saw his birthday. It's 9/4/1998.
Happy birthday, Linus.
I'm gonna be 34 next week. Oh my god, he's 24. He's such a baby. He appeared in 5 games at the end of the Flyers season this last season. I took a killer picture of him. Got myself on the back. He made his NHL debut in Montreal, where he recorded his first NHL point with an assist, and he recorded assists in each of his first 2 NHL games, and in his 5-game stint recorded an average ice time of 17 minutes and 4 seconds. He's obviously a blue liner. He spent a majority of the season with Lehigh, and he posted 8 assists and 14 penalty minutes in 58 games for the Phantoms. He also recorded 2 goals and 6 assists in 26 games as a rookie in the 2021 season with Lehigh. Prior to coming to North America, he played his entire junior and professional career in Sweden, mostly for the Växjö Lakers in the Swedish Hockey League. I butchered that. Where he helped them win the SHL championship in 2018, and he is from Stockholm, Sweden. And he is also very personable, which is, again, important. Anytime I've messaged him a couple times on Instagram, literally within 2 hours, I get a reply. He is a nice, just a nice person overall.
All right. Seems like he likes his phone too, which can be beneficial for people looking for interviews with him.
He says he has too much to do right now.
But you tried?
Yeah. He said, but in the future.
Fair enough.
So I didn't get rejected. He says he just has too much to do right now, which I can respect. So, but
emotional damage.
The interview wasn't for me. It was for someone else. I contacted him for Justin, but
fair enough. All right. So we got a forward and a blue liner.
And then Mr. Hayden Hodgson. I was amped for this one. This one came through, and I was like dancing in my chair at work.
Yeah, I think he's going to be down in Lehigh a lot for you.
I love his story. His story is just amazing. He's such a nice person. Again, another personable player. A lot of these guys are personable. It's just how personable. So yeah, he signed. He recorded 3 points, so 1 goal and 2 assists in 6 games for the Flyers. And he made his NHL debut on March 24th in St. Louis, where he recorded his first NHL goal and added an assist. He spent a majority of the 21-22 season with us in Lehigh, and he recorded 19 goals and 12 assists in 46 games, and he ranked 2nd on the team in goals and 4th in points, and led the team with a plus-minus rating of +6. And prior to joining the Flyers organization, he spent 1 season in the AHL with the Cleveland Monsters.
What a name.
They're not really monsters. And he recorded 6 points in 41 games with them. He is 6'2" and 207 pounds. He's a big guy.
He's a big boy. Is what you were going for. I knew you were trying to say that.
Yeah, but anyway, he spent a majority of his career in the ECHL, and he recorded a total of 44 points in 98 games, and he played with the Utah Grizzlies and Wheeling Nailers, as well as Reading and Wichita Thunder, Florida Everblades, and the Manchester Monarchs. I have to say, the ECHL has cooler names for their teams. Manchester Monarchs, come on. I would love to play for that team.
Now, the moment everybody's been waiting for, Sam's worst nightmare.
Grady's back.
Howdy. How are we?
Tank for Connor Bedard.
Howdy.
What's going on, sir?
Bit of whirlwind of a day.
How was your meeting?
It was good. It's an hour and 45-minute meeting, but it's okay.
I did not expect it to go that long, but
You feel energized now?
no.
Here, let me help you feel
man.
energized. Yeah.
Oh man, it has been a struggle of a day. I can tell you that.
Just to finish
You're
up
welcome for assisting with that. Go ahead, Sam.
Just to finish up with Hayden, he comes from Windsor, Ontario, and he spent 5 seasons in the OHL, which is the Ontario Hockey League, with the Erie Otters, Sarnia Sting, and Saginaw Spirit, and he posted 87 goals and 70 assists in 294 games.
Okay. So not the biggest point guy, but he seems to be more of an enforcer with how big he is.
And then I saw some people pointing out on Twitter that like he got $15,000 more than Wade Allison on his contract. And it's like, why are you paying attention to such like a minute little thing? Like, you're going to pick these contracts apart no matter what. Like, even if it was JVR and Travis Konechny, and Travis Konechny got $15,000 more than JVR. Listen, JVR is old, and it's time for him to retire.
He very well might after this season.
He's been here since 2007. He left for what, a half a season?
No, he left for 4 or 5 years. He was drafted by the Flyers, signed a contract with another team, with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was some team in blue. And
he was with the Toronto Maple Leafs for a while, and then came back to the Flyers. Because he was supposed to be a good goal scorer, where he would be for like a month span, and then he'd just be iced the rest of the season.
Okay, so yeah, he was with Philly 2009, 2010, 2011. Then he went to Toronto from 2012 to 2018, and then he came back in 2018. And he's blessed us ever since.
Kind of like how I just blessed you guys with my presence.
Sure. Thanks for showing up, John.
Hey, I have prior engagements.
Please don't bring out the soundboard.
Well, roasted.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway.
So we'll get John's quick opinion on the 3 different signings and the new vice president that we got. Do you know anything about those, John? Or have you
vice
done...
president?
Yeah, vice president of what is it again? Athletic.
Vice president of athlete performance and wellness.
Oh, he's from overseas, right?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
I thought he came from Europe or something.
Well, it was a global search process to find this guy.
So kind of. I was right.
Just like it was a global search process to find Torts.
Well, I think that, not to use Ryan Ellis as an example, but I think that there are some things where, you come back too early and, and the doctor says it's okay, but it's really not. So, the Eagles went through that from 2017 to 2019. Like everybody was getting hurt. So what they do, they changed their sports science people. And, last year they were relatively healthy, which, helps. And so I think that, the Flyers are kind of taking that extra step to saying, maybe it is the doctors and maybe they're just not as good as we thought. And I think that it's just something else I think that's a good move to just try and find something else to try and verify that Ryan Ellis trade and to verify paying him all that money.
It's also important to note that this position was just newly created.
Right. So they're using their resources in the right way.
They're doing
for this one. We're still working on everything else, but for this spot,
still working on the hockey side of it, but it's okay. Baby steps.
Just take the stick to the puck and shoot it. It's not that hard.
You chugging a beer?
No. That. Come on.
Oh.
No.
I was gonna say, we all gonna chug a beer for farewell.
Just shotgun one at the end.
I don't have any beer. Besides, I'm not really supposed to be drinking beer.
All right, fine. We'll shotgun.
That's what we all say.
We'll shotgun the iced teas.
It's like me saying I'm not going to drink for like 3 weeks. We all know, that's not happening.
Well,
he's in college. He's gonna drink like tomorrow.
No. Well, with my stomach issues, I don't really need to be drinking beer.
I'm good.
We also talked about the 3 signings that were made.
Love them. I like that enforcer guy. I think, you need guys with skill, but you also need that kind of.
Which one's the enforcer guy?
The last one you talked about.
Hayden Hodgson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you weren't talking about Weenus or Wade?
Weenus, and Wade is also an enforcer when he wants to.
No, I did see that they signed all of their restricted free agents, which is good. I mean, that you need somebody to develop. You can't just go outside the organization for everything. Comparing it to the Phillies, like they went outside the organization and they haven't had the farm system to have that youth movement. And now you're starting to see that a little bit. And at Flyers, it's the same thing. You need to just keep pushing people through and seeing if they stick. Like, not everybody's going to work out, but, the more you send to the NHL level, and the more that you can re-sign your young players, the better chance that you'll have.
Yeah, so signing the young players, John approves.
Connor Bedard already signed.
We're not
Tampering.
getting Connor.
I will take the tampering fines if it means that we get him.
No, Jesse's
I will illegally tamper.
Jesse has already said that he is going straight for Chicago because let's face it, Chicago is tanking on purpose.
I mean,
already.
I don't think we're doing it on purpose, but we're still going to be at the bottom.
we're still tanking. That'd be awesome if we got Connor Bedard.
It'd be awesome, but we're not going to. So
just tank. Sixers did it. Just tank.
Sixers.
Well, I mean, keep in mind though, Shane Wright was was projected to go first, and he didn't go until fourth.
That was because of his interviews, though. A lot of teams said he had a bad personality or bad attitude.
But then you could also draft somebody like Connor McDavid and just turn around your whole entire franchise.
Who has a great personality and a great attitude and loves the sport of hockey and just wrecks everybody.
I'm telling you, Calgary, this could either go really, really good for them or this can go really, really badly for them.
Why?
With Huberdeau, I mean, you never know. You made all these great signings. Okay. You have Kadri now. You have Huberdeau. It can either go really, really good, really, really bad.
Even with all the signings and people leaving from Calgary, they seem to be roughly right in the same spot where they were last year.
That's what I'm trying to say is that
purgatory.
This can either go really good for them or it can be really bad.
I think it's neutral.
Isn't Huberdeau playing for a contract this year?
No, he signed a 7 or 8 year deal.
Okay.
With the
Same
Flames.
With Kadri. I think Kadri signed a 7-year deal.
Yeah, I know one of them signed a 7, the other one signed an 8-year deal.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anybody have any final opinions they want to get out?
No. Let's
go Birds.
Yeah, because we all know Phillies are.
Hey.
Is it going to be a red October, John?
They're back. Phils are back. September collapse always has been in the cards, but they're still going to make the postseason.
Can you play the cricket noise real quick? Thank you. Because that's how we felt when you said they're back.
I've said they're back so many times.
I'm actually going.
I know you have. Trust me. I talk to you on almost a daily basis. I've heard it every night for like 3 weeks.
I'm actually going to see the Iron Pigs on Friday night, and I believe they're going to playoffs.
Well, you missed it. You had your chance to see Bryce.
Yeah,
I she just has to go to Phillies.
Wait.
Which we still need to go to some sort of professional sporting event before most of them are done. Other than the Eagles, because I would not pay attention to the Eagles game.
I'm not paying for tickets to an Eagles game.
No.
I'll sit there on my couch.
Or we can just go to Xfinity Live and watch the game there.
I know a buddy that DJ's there.
I've never been there.
It's fun. I went there. Iron Pigs might not make the playoffs. They have to get hot, and Durham won tonight. Mike, don't give me bad news, okay?
Plus,
Let Levi Raleigh have one thing.
I don't care if they make the playoffs or not. I just want Griff McGarry to pitch and to play well. I just need certain players to play well. It's the same thing with the Flyers. I don't need the fans to be good, but I need certain players to play well.
I feel that. We went over signings, and we added a lot of depth. So that's a good sign.
And hopefully this new health guy can keep Wade Allison afloat.
and Tanner.
Final
and
thought.
everyone else.
Final thought. Tyson Forrester, he's hurt.
Sorry, Sam. The Phillies ruined it by taking all the good players. I know, Mike. Okay, let Lehigh Valley have one thing right now.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
move on to the
I'm sorry.
Super Bowl.
That's the Major League Club is doing their job in pulling up the best players from the minor league level at the end of the season. I apologize.
It's not fair.
I apologize that the Lehigh Valley is not the end all be all. It's not New York City.
Well, who pays attention to the Yankees anyway? Okay. Or the Mets. Wait, who's doing better? The Mets or
I
the
don't
Yankees?
know. You asked me. I don't know.
You liar! You totally know. You've been
I do know.
watching the standings like a freaking hawk.
Okay. To be honest, I don't pay attention that much to baseball like I do hockey, so I wouldn't know.
I'm more of a well-rounded type of guy. I pay attention to all of them. I'm a 5 for 5er.
I'm pretty sure the Mets. are
Well,
top
yeah.
of the
So the
leaderboard.
Yankees had the best record in baseball until the All-Star break, and then since the All-Star break, they have lost like 13 of their 20 or something.
So they're tanking for Bedard.
Yeah. But yeah, the Mets are better.
All right. We'll eventually go to some sort of professional sporting event and Xfinity Live at some point.
Go Birds.
Let me know. I shall trek my way down.
And I don't trust that John is 5 for 5 when it comes to sports. I don't think he pays attention to the union whatsoever. He just
I do.
hears
They're in the
updates from
playoffs.
me.
No, I do. They're in the playoffs. I follow what's his name? Oh, Kevin Kincaid.
Okay, fair enough. He does give good updates on the union.
That's what I'm saying. I read his tweets.
He does really good with the union. Yeah, my final opinion on the Flyers are basically, get some grit behind you. TK, become more like your old self, become annoying again. Let people rest when they're injured and try and push for 30 wins this season and slowly improve your team with the youngins that you got.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
And just to give a shout out to everybody who hopped on over these last 9 months when either of you, looking at you on the bottom there, couldn't make it on.
Sorry, this is not my life.
Looking at who?
Put me back up on top. At least I showed up for 99% of the episode.
Whoa, we found Sam's thing.
Shout out to Old
Sam's
City.
always been the top. What can we say?
Shout out to Old City Sports Network, Jesse for hopping on. Really, really appreciated that. Came in a time of need. John, it was like last minute thing and John couldn't make it on. Yariv, appreciate him for hopping on. That was a good episode. And Jamie for hopping on. Always appreciated. And for Pat Nagel for giving me my very first, Shannon's interview. I'll always hold that interview. It's hard because I made a friend out of it.
And we'll give a shout out to Michael as well because he's been here
Yes.
for a few episodes.
Mike, I think, has watched almost every episode.
He's been getting more and more into the comments. I do know that because I recognize the name whenever it shows up now.
And I like to give one more shout out to Sam's connection. It's always been there for us. Kidding. I just wanted to put in one more joke. That's okay.
I got a new router, so it'll be better. It needs to be better because I have my own AHL show now. So,
is the router in the same room as you?
no, it's in the living room.
Oh shit! I was gonna say you should try and connect an Ethernet cable to make that connection stronger.
I'm gonna see if my dad has a long one because it's in the living room, and see if I can do it that way, especially when I have to do American.
That's what she said.
Shut up.
But yeah, seriously, thank you to everybody who has watched us over these past 9 months. It has been an absolute blast. John, it's been wonderful making jokes with you. Sam, it's been wonderful making fun of you.
It's been really nice.
We're not laughing with you. We're laughing at you.
John, if I could kick you right now, I would.
I probably wouldn't feel it. I'm
He's still numb from the waist down.
You what?
Exactly. Huge shout out to Six Pack Coverage for sponsoring us. We truly appreciate the opportunity you gave us. We appreciate everything you've done, letting us use your platforms and helping us grow with you guys.
Appreciate the t-shirts.
Appreciate the t-shirts as well. And the stickers. I think I have a sticker on my fridge. Also, huge shout out to CEV Sports, letting us use their StreamYard. They're the ones that really started John and I off to begin with. So, huge shout out to them. Eric and Chris, you guys are awesome. We appreciate everything you've done for us. We appreciate all the opportunities that everybody has given us. It has been absolutely wonderful. You will see, I'm sure you'll see John and I floating around at some point. It's just tough for us to do it week to week, but you'll definitely see us floating around at some point. Sam,
I always got to come in with some hot takes.
Sam, if you ever need a guest, ignore the guy on the bottom, and you can always ask me. I'll do my best to get there. Just give me like a couple weeks notice, because now since I got a new nephew on Wednesday, my schedule got even tighter. That's what she said again. So,
congrats on becoming an uncle. I'm an aunt, and it's the best blessing and adventure you will ever go on.
Except when it's your own child.
Except
Except
my oldest niece is 11, and her mouth, as they get older.
My niece is 2.5.
That was disgusting, John.
That was very disturbing. I'm sorry. That was the wrong sound.
And thank you, Mike. Really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. For the people on Anchor that are going to listen to this last episode, Mike said, thanks for all you guys did and cheers to your next ventures.
Because I'm very nervous to break away from you two, but I also have 2 other amazing co-hosts that I'm working with now.
So we were replaced, but it's okay.
You're not replaced.
To be fair, she planned
sure
this.
That's the definition.
I'm pretty sure she planned this out before she even knew that we were gonna.
It was supposed to be an all-female podcast, but Jesse, it fell through.
You just couldn't get away from the testosterone.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was supposed to be an all-female podcast, and it fell through. It fell through, and Jesse came in clutch, and we pulled it together.
Good.
I will be watching.
Give one last shout out for that.
It's called American Beauties, an all AHL podcast. We recorded our first episode this past Thursday. It's going to be Thursday nights because that's when it works for all of our schedules and the season schedule. And
just a quick question: is it going to be live or is it recorded and only on Anchor /Spotify?
Right now, it's only recorded. We will eventually go live.
Okay, so where can you find it right now?
On Spotify, and I believe it's on Apple Podcasts. I'm not entirely positive.
Okay. I just want to make sure that I can find it. Since it's recorded and it's on Spotify, as I drive an hour and some change to my sites for work, I can easily give that a listen and still give you a bunch of shit.
So I don't see it on Apple Podcasts, but it's definitely on Spotify.
Okay. So good luck to your next adventure. Even though this bottle's empty. Cheers to that. And
Arnold Palmer.
John's got his iced tea that he's gonna.
Don't remind me.
And yeah, much love, guys. Stay safe out there. Thank you for everything, and hopefully we will see you in a few years or as a guest somewhere else. Come on,
One
Sam.
time.